I'm very glad you visited the video. I would be truly happy and grateful if you like and subscribe to the channel. Wishing you happiness and success always. Opening movie. Giant and Suneo are talking about the Earth before Kier. It's full of mystery and mystery. But until now, there's basically no place left that people have never set foot in. There's no more mystery. However, they heard the teacher say that in Africa there's still a possibility. The magical lands. A mystery that man has never set foot in. But now it's spring break. So they want Nobita to use Doraemon's treasure, help them find that magical land. Then we all went there to explore. Then under the enthusiastic persuasion of Nobita, Doraemon has used his artificial satellite to photograph every corner of Africa one by one, from 10,000 meters in the sky, in the hope of finding the magical land of Africa. But look at the picture they took. The secret is that there's a strange hole in the forest. Then Nobita was called by his mother to buy vegetables. On the way to buy vegetables, you see a dog wandering around. Nobita found it poor. So when you buy vegetables, you can buy them a sausage for it. However, even though you are kind, but you didn't peel it off, you gave it to me. The dog seems to be hungry too. They also eat the skin. And when Nobita came to the door, the dog was also chiseled to follow Nobita to the door. But Nobita's mother won't let him have a dog. So you didn't let him in. I can't believe Nobita went upstairs. The dog is still in the back. And when that, they still don't know how to deal with this dog. Nobita's mother suddenly called out his name and went upstairs. So the two of them hurriedly hid the dog. Sorry about the dog running into the house. However, Nobita's mother came up just to find the lost wallet. They immediately went out to find their mother's wallet. As a result, they're frantically looking for. The dog wandered, immediately sucked the wallet out of the bush. Please help me find my wallet. Helped the wandering dog to a successful promotion. Go to the next dog. Because he keeps his head down all the time, so Nobita named it Bao. And Bao is a strange dog. I wake up knowing how to wash my face, and I don't want to go out for a walk. I just want to stay home and see pictures one day. When Nobita and Doraemon go out all day, then I found my head bowed. They're using their machines to find the mystery in Africa. More, he also discovered a stone statue in East Africa. That's Nobita and Doraemon. I took this picture and asked Kisugi. After watching a turn, told them that this stone statue is in the Congo jungle. It's cloudy all year round, so even modern satellites can't capture it. It's called the Haze Forest by NASA. But because of Doraemon's satellite, not affected by blindness, so they were able to photograph this stone statue. So the next morning, Nobita and his friends immediately begin their adventure. However, because of the location marked, it's kind of boring. So they use the magic door to a place 100 kilometers away, and then walk to the marked site. When I first started exploring, I was excited. But then Nobita had to take a trip home to hide the zero score test. Shizuka also had to go home for a trip to the toilet. Then Zen shouted, I've never seen an expedition before, and I want to go light. Is to come home like that? So it's very annoying. But I didn't expect Shizuka, after coming back, told him his mother had a job to find him. So Giant also came home and got fed up. And then when we continued to explore, Nobita said that if there are wild animals, it is like exploring. That's Doraemon. He gave Giant a cloak. It's capable of attracting wild animals. That's why he was attacked. Fortunately, Doraemon used a dumpling to rescue him. And then it's wrapped around the giant's legs. Helped by Nobita using a miniature flashlight. By the rhino Theo. Assisted by Suneo using an electric gun. Mistaken by the gorilla as a fellow human. Shizuka uses Superman gloves to save her. Through a series of things like that, it's causing Jeans to lose interest in exploration. Even when you get back to the open ground, they say the expedition is over. But when he's sleeping at night, then the giant statue appeared in front of him and give him a map. So the next morning, Giant said that he was told a dream by the idol. We must complete this expedition. He also told Doraemon, leaving all of yesterday's treasures here, and start the expedition all over again. And this expedition, from the beginning, people met a river. So we all got on a boat to get moving. However, they immediately encountered a group of crocodiles. And because there's no security, so they can't do anything about it. Even the magic door is eaten by them. But fortunately, they were rescued by the natives here. Then they saw a giant statue of God built in that tribe's village. That is, they asked the chief how to find the real idol. The chief also said, let them know how to find the idol, but after knowing, they really want to find the idol. Afraid that the wrath of the gods will come upon this village. So he sent them away immediately. The next day, they reached the meadow the chief had mentioned. This is the kingdom of the lions. So it's extremely dangerous and not out of the question. And then they're surrounded by a bunch of lions. Fortunately, it's a three-dimensional projection of the giant, in an incomprehensible way, appeared again. And he sent the lion to help everyone. Next person everyone comes to a standing stone. And while forging is looking for a way to get down, the edge of the cliff suddenly cracked. They fall freely down. This time Doraemon, with a happy expression, take out the gravity paint and get everyone safely down the cliff. After coming down to the place, he bowed his head and suddenly clapped his hands and said, "It's amazing to be here. Of course, the ones we chose. I am the prince. For some reason I came to Japan. And now, thanks to you, I have returned. And the giant statue that saved you. Before that, it was controlled by me, while leading the way." And he told everyone that my country is a country of dogs. Everyone is a dog. Different from the outside world. A place where everyone is human, but even though I'm glad to be back home. But in the country there are still bad guys waiting for him. And as soon as I finished, their boat had just passed through the cave to his country. No matter how much you don't volunteer, everyone, I also have to go with my head bowed to save his country together. It's about how uncommitted you are to volunteering. We can see that when we bow our heads, it's not perfect. How to explain this country? Kira made SAO. And why now? This country is dominated by the evil Kira minister. After a moment of silence, Nobita and his group of friends are dull and ask where we're going now. With a sluggish tone, lacking vitality and full of helplessness. However, no matter how impotent they are, so people still follow him. Along the way they rescued a puppy. And through the puppy's words and bowed his head. Group of friends, understand the current situation in this country. It turns out that this country invented 5,000 years ago. Flamethrowers and boats flying in the sky. However, at that time, the wise prince, afraid of inventing too many weapons, they will destroy their country. They banned weapons research. And the god of this world began to study the weapons of the ancients. They want to conquer the world. The king, the father of the bow, rebuked him for a battle. After a period of time, I thought he had repented. Then suddenly one day, he is with his partner. He planned to assassinate the king and put your head in a coffin, prepare to be buried alive, but accidentally let the coffin fall into the lake. So the bow has drifted to the human world. Then Doraemon rescued a close subordinate of the bow from the prison. His subordinates bowed their heads after seeing Nobita's group of friends. I feel very excited. He said that 5,000 years ago, the king predicted that 5,000 years after the country was in danger, there will be 10 foreigners to shake the heart of the giant god, to save this country. And now 5 people have arrived. The other 5, even if they think twice, they can't even think of who it is. But because there's not much time left, so people still want to see the giant heart. Before that, they decided, we're going to sneak inside the giant statue tonight. However, before that, everyone has to face the situation. There's no food. This time Doraemon took out it's called the promise machine. As long as you promise this treasure about what you're going to do in the future, you will get the results first. For example, if you promise him you'll eat tomorrow, then you can fill your stomach right then and there. But tomorrow you're going to have to make up for it to return the meal you promised. So after eating and drinking and resting for a while, people were disguised as a chariot cargo to sneak inside the giant statue. However, this move was one step ahead of the enemy. You're surrounded by a bunch of soldiers. On the way, subordinates of Bao stayed to make way for everyone. People keep driving their chariots forward. But I can't believe the enemy sent the flamethrower. Knocked them all out of the car. They even let boats fly from the sky. Surround them and drop bombs. Makes people run into tree holes to hide. And there's a lot of bombs in front of you. The enemy thought it was over, so we've mobilized all our forces to withdraw after hiding for a while. People also pluck up the courage to step out of the tree. Through the forest under bombardment. Towards the giant statue. And then everyone was safe. Go in front of the giant. Where the minister is hiding. It's like facing an army of ants. People just don't have weapons to win. There is no book. Except for the giant figure of Boeing. In short, people can only do their best. Plunge into the enemy with a disparate force. Right now, there's suddenly 5 people flying in from afar. And these people, they are themselves in the future. Turns out it's because Shizuka used the promised machine first. Promise yourself that I will come back tomorrow to rescue myself. This promise has been fulfilled before. So tomorrow's self is back. To rescue themselves, next everyone goes follow Doraemon of the future inside the giant statue. The soldiers outside, Nobita of the future, carrying the cover solved. There are people inside the giant statue. There is a guide, so it's going really well. Except that Nobita was a little exhausted climbing the stairs, and the enemy chases behind, just in time to catch up. The prince had to come back, fight with the enemy's general. Nobita is holding the treasure that Doraemon, the future, gives Cho to open power. And then everyone was successful. The heart of the giant god let the giant death move. Plus the energy from the bound necklace. They've overpowered the enemy with breathtaking prison. However, after the victory, they didn't see the minister. The future Doraemon suddenly remembered the story. Name God. They will run to the palace to kidnap the princess. So everyone rushed to the palace. The minister is trying to take the princess away. He bowed his head and the group just in time to arrive. That is, he bowed his head immediately, jumped up and cut off his hair, rescued the princess. After all, people have said goodbye to themselves from the future, and bowed his head and used the magic door that Doraemon, the future, gives Cho to return to Japan, and then go on to rescue ourselves from the past. The movie ends here. Here is the full story of the Doraemon movie. Nobita explores a new land. Thank you for your interest. Follow. Bye and see you later.